According to the guidance, we are in Dante's Inferno.
Oh, really? That sounds good. That sounds like we got some fire going.
We're in the Dante's Inferno. We're in the wrap-up stages of this great grand play that we have come into together. And so it's an exciting time because it's fun, it's playful. We get to see the unraveling of the maze, the decoding, how all the pieces fit together and all that kind of thing. And this is the part where we get to laugh at ourselves a lot, go like, oh,
yeah, right.
Like that, you know?
Just like the gods laughing at us. It's going to be us laughing at each other.
That's right. You know, when it came in today and the guidance said in one of the transmissions that we were fully in the Dante's Inferno, I just and read it to our group, a piece on Dante's Inferno. And it says that, you know, Inferno is the first part of Italian writer Dante's 14th century epic poem, Divine Comedy. So
yeah.
That pretty much says it all. And but it goes on to talk about the Inferno tells the journey of Dante through hell, guided by the ancient Roman poet Virgil. In the poem, hell is depicted as 9 concentric circles of torment located within the earth. It is the realm of those who have rejected spiritual values by yielding to the bestial appetite or violence, or by perverting their human intellect to fraud or malice against their fellow men. The Divine Comedy represents the journey of the soul towards God, with the Inferno describing the recognition and rejection of sin. So, yeah, big morning. The last few days, the transmissions coming through are just pushing the crew. They're pushing everyone through the 6th initiation, which is when we release our attachment to our human vehicle, our personality, our blueprint in totality. And that's the releasing of all the desires, the wants, the needs, the stories, the memories of our character in the play.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So all the BS is gone.
Yeah. Now we get to sit around for 1,000 years and talk about how we did it, you know?
Yeah. I can't wait to get to the after party. So one of the songs that's going to be playing at the after party is called Unity Transmissions Pure Source Codes Aurora. Is that right?
The Aurora.
And so what is this? I'm going to put it on the screen and take us off.
This is an amazing example of true superabundance, which is creativity flowing through us and us just offering it as gifts. So as each one of us comes forth and truly recognizes that we don't need a middleman between us and creation, between the source that gives us life, we begin to create and we just give. There's no such thing as copyright. It is the true inspiration of allowing creation to flow through us. And so we had a meditation on the night of February 4th, the miracle coordinate of the new moon, called the Aurora, and the guidance explained this is the cymatic of creation that is now informing the collective of who we are. And so cymatics, like a butterfly or a sound that brings matter into form or particles into form, that's what's informing us. And so we did this amazing meditation. The guidance said we were going into the vaults of heaven to basically commune with the great I am and receive our own personal sovereign coordinates of creation. And so Guillaume, who has created this amazing work of art collaboration just through his own inspiration of what was coming through, and he was receiving all these scripts from the vaults of heaven, he found an amazing artist whose his name is Stellar Drone, and the track is Eternity Light Years, and it was copyright free. And we were chatting last night. We did a spontaneous meditation on the Globe last night on Facebook, and we were chatting after, and I was like, wow, your videos are amazing. If you ever want to use the light language on there, go for it. And so he sent me this incredible creation this morning, and this is true superabundance. There was no money exchange. There was no ask for anything.
Yeah.
It's just it's the montage. It's the, all of us coming together, and we become so uplifted in creativity and the creation that we transcend the external need. We remember we are fully self-sustaining, self-regulating, self-generating. If we want to produce a golden apple in the palm of the hand and have a bite, then we can, because we are creators of creation. And so
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. That's what this is.
Bon appetit. So this just happened in the spontaneous, intuitive, creative, imaginative today.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. And it is, may I just add, 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yes.
That's how the magic works.
Can you go full screen?
Sorry.
Is it not full screen?
It doesn't look full screen on my screen.
Hang on. Hang on a second. I thought it was full screen.
Maybe it is for others. I'm not looking at comments, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's full screen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's full
Can
screen.
you back it up to the beginning?
Yep.
Thank you, May.
Yep. I got you.
Thanks,
I got you, sister.
I know you do. You got
No
all.
problema. All right, let's see. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Up to this great habits. Consciousness flooding the collective. Blessings, love, wholeness, and aloha.
Wow, man. All I can say is wow. What was that? Hang on. What was that, Unity? That was Sandal? Did I see his name on there? Sandal?
The artist is Stellar Drum, the music.
Stellar Drum.
Yes.
Okay, that was the music, and
Yes.
then Guillerme's pictures in your light language.
That's right.
That was incredible. So I would imagine y'all are going to do some more of that. I would think so.
Yes.
That was excellent. Excellent. That the whole thing was that art up close like that. It looked digital. This was the first time I saw it. I'm watching it on the computer screen. I'm like, whoa. It's like a mic drop.
You held on to the mic pretty good.
So, for all it's been since the first of, we talked, about 5 weeks ago? It's been a sweet ride. There's been some intense things, and like you said, the Dante's Inferno, they don't have a choice. I mean, it's in your face. And you can try to deny it, but if it's in your face, it's in your face, right?
That's right. That's right.
But,
I was guided to make a post, do a love stream the other day to say that it's a gentler, kinder world. And that's in the face piece is that full surrender to the I am, which is infusing these forms, source consciousness. It's the thing we've all been praying for and creating and calling in, and it's occurring, and it's a humbling. It's awe-inspiring because we are going into those scripts that Guilherme so amazingly has been bringing through. Yukia, Donna, Gentilose, many people bring these scripts through. And there's cymatics, there are emanations, there's entire aeons of information in each script. So how do we let all of that in? By letting the small self release, by releasing and letting go of everything we knew we were, because we did all the learning that we came for, and it's over. So now we're letting go, and this is the celebration. It is the miracle jubilee, and it is the co-creation and the collaboration of art and creativity. This is what's left within us. It's the 64th gene. The final codon in the 64 codons of the true strand DNA is to turn the journey into art. That's the final.
Yeah. And collaboration is the order of the day, because then it explodes. You get two or more. And especially when it happens spontaneously like that, that's the perfect synchronicity, right? I mean, you can't deny that because there's more than one person involved. So if you're crazy, at least somebody's with you, right?
That's what we came for. Way more fun than friends in the sandbox, yeah?
Yeah, the strides that we're taking collectively are getting longer and longer. I mean, we're moving. We're marching, It's changing rapidly.
Very much. The last few days, Todd, in the miracle coordinates of what we call days, particularly the acceleration that occurred through what we call yesterday and today, the intensification of that infernal process. And so what comes through the transmissions that many of us share are basically just reflections back to the consciousness to go, hey, dude, this is occurring in all of us because it's a hologram and we all have a different way of languaging it, but we're all looking towards each other. There really is no mirror anymore. There's only one of us here, which is why this is the time to celebrate, because we still have that gentle sense of the individual self, the sovereign, which is what makes it very unique now to go like, wow, check out how cool this is. We just all went into the vaults of heaven to upload into the scripts. And what the guidance showed, because we had another spontaneous meditation in the miracle coordinate of last night, and I was tracking with our pod, and they were working on social media pieces and just pulling so much together. And I talk about this often, but Richard Rudd talks about using the old rootstock to put the sapling onto, and then the sapling grows from the old rootstock, and it infuses new energy into the whole thing. So that's what's occurring now. And so the 45th gene of communion, this is really cool for you and I, Todd, and all of the Soulology crew, because one of the amazing love streams we did was in the summer on the 13th of June, and we did it from Harry Kugler's property. And that was when we started with the 11-11, 12-12, 13-13 on that new moon. And what the guy said was that the oracle pillar the pillar of Delphi was restored, and it showed this massive pillar, cosmic, going through the center of the earth. And it said it was the axis mundi, and that the precession of the equinoxes was complete. And that was the day of the completion of the sun moving through the 45th gene. The shadow of the 45th, and we talked about it that day, the shadow frequency is foundations built on hierarchy, with people at the top, and the foundation that is built on fear. Yeah. And the highest frequency of 45 is communion, which is the transcendence of the financial system, of the middleman of all these structures, and everyone doing exactly what you say: co-create, collaborate, play. And so that was coming. I could hear 45th gene. The guidance was tracking the 45th gene the last few days. And then this morning, a transmission came through for our pod saying, look, the collective is going through the sixth initiation, that piece I shared about it, shedding the memory, shedding the personality, the desire, the wants, the needs. It's the imbibing at the altar of Christ consciousness, its whole brain state, dissolution of everything that we created. And so I discovered in rereading that this morning with our pod that that's all related to the 45th gene. So it's communion. And another thing the guidance showed last night in this spontaneous meditation was that we even went past what is called the vaults of heaven, which was still all part of this creation and this reality. And this morning I made a post, the guidance said to say that we are in the lock. And then it showed me the image of locks, the locks where boats are. Oh, yeah. Panama Canal, right? The boat is moving from one level of water to another. So I'll just explain it. The boat goes into a lock, and it's these tall, narrow walls, and then the doors get shut, and it fills with water, and the boat rises up, and then it goes into another lock and another lock. And this morning the guidance said, we are in the locks. And in the meditation last night, it was like we passed through the cosmic yoni, we pass through the stargate and beyond the vaults of heaven of two-strand DNA. So this is the complete and total annihilation of everything we've known ourselves to be.
It's gone. Poof. It's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done. It is. And I guess, people are getting it different ways, but I mean the uniformity of what people are experiencing is, it's like we don't even have to say anything. Just co-create.
Yeah, that Unity Consciousness 9 Waves, this book by Carl Kalman, and the annihilation came right at the time of the new moon. I kept in my visions and meditations seeing this whole cast of characters annihilated, like we see the images of a nuclear bomb go off. I just saw them just annihilated away. And that's exactly what happened at the beginning of the 9th wave in the Mayan calendar. Was when the earthquake and tsunamis occurred in Japan. And for anyone watching any of the videos, it's holographic, so it didn't even look real when we watched it. because it's not, because we're all one consciousness taking these holographic forms. And now we collectively go through the metamorphosis.
And what was that? What was that? It was a tsunami? Earth? What was it?
Yeah, on the, I think it was the 9th, was it the 11th of March, 2011? So in the Mayan calendar, there was the 9 waves. There's 9 steps up the pyramids, and the 9th wave started on the 11th of March or 9th. I think it was the 11th. And what all of the astrologers and so on who were tracking, and the timekeepers and so on, or the day keeper, said that if we're correct with our alignment and attunement, which of course they were, we would see something massive in the consciousness related to an earth transformation. And we did.
Yeah. I wonder what's next on the Ascension agenda.
Well, you know... What are you going to say?
Well, I was gonna say, I think this is the point where everybody either gets a pair of wings or devil's horns. No, I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure we all get wings.
Feels right to me.
So much more.
Yeah, right. No, what you said about the, something so expansive would happen, that there was in 2011, right? Physical evidence in the form of earthquake, tsunami, whatever. That's what it feels like to me. It's like it's becoming so big and so expansive that it's going to create something huge in the external that we all share, the holograph.
I'm guided to share something that I share often, which is in transmissions. I've said we're the walking movie houses and closed for renovation, getting the upgrade of the surround sound, high def, all of that. And that when the movie house comes back online and it's open again to the public, because we're all projecting a reality out of our first eye, it's the mechanics of these walking movie houses. That as a collective, there is a complete transformation in the external reality because it's being projected out and through us collectively, which is why the individuated spirit consciousness, the sovereign, chooses through resonance. That's why you see these groups all over the planet forming, like all these different storylines. They're completely different costumes and so on. Because we've been choosing through free will the direction that we are sovereignly choosing to move with the collective. The whole thing about splitting of the worlds and all of those kinds of prophecies were never accurate because there's only one consciousness. It's infinite, and it's creating, and it's creational. It's creation. So today, when I sent the link to Morgan for tonight's show of Guillerme's amazing video, Guillerme Bastos, and it's on YouTube, by the way, for anyone that wants to see it. We're going to post it on all the pages too. So I really invite people to drop in with it. It is incredible. And I said to Morgan, that we're going to be having a sip of blue spirulina together soon and swimming with the dolphins.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you've already been over here. You've been over here more than once. I met Infinity. I met quite a few people.
Yes.
It's cool. It's man, wow.
You met Infinity?
Wow.
My God, of course.
I met Infinity. Yeah, talking to someone who's been here, right? I mean, God. But I mean, it's just every day, every single day. And at this time, that's not a coincidence. This 90-day period when all this stuff is happening. You saw that portal that appeared over the house that we were staying in?
I was just going to ask you. Do tell.
Oh, I just remember. I remember you texted me. It was so, it was so. I don't know what the word is. Not eerie, in a scary way. but just as in strange, weird, like, far out. And we spent that night just running out there looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, and didn't even think to connect with it, which we did the next day, which was cool. And, it spoke to us, and it just went along with the story that's occurring, the oneness, the unity consciousness. Just another way of the universe showing us. But it was cool. And the islands have been cool. I've had a lot of experience, that Puff the Magic Dragon jumped into me one morning. One morning. I think that was the day I got my power, the day after. It was like final mother energies, dragons. Oh, man, it's just been one thing after another. But it's been incredible. Incredible.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it was a multi-dimensional doorway in the sky. That's what that was.
So it stayed all night?
Yeah. So, it stayed about 2-3 hours. Clear as the day. And the clouds would go under it. And you know how, like, black might cover white? Well, this was a black rectangular-looking doorway with a light coming off to one side, because there was a light on the top of it or the other side of it. And, it stayed there. And the clouds would go by underneath it, and that color would still come through. I mean, the mass, or I don't know what word you would use, but it would come through. The essence of it would come through, like it was superseding 3D. So it was, and I remember at that time there was a lot of stuff going on. But that's what I said. This last it's been month and a half. God, a month and a half is all. It's not even been a month and a week since January 1st. Holy crap! We need to get some of those seatbelts they use on roller coasters.
Yeah, well, we definitely have been on a roller coaster, and one piece to share as well that really has been coming in today in the transmissions, and certainly on my own journey on the earth, in effectively helping to decode the DNA to speed things up. Because in the storylines, we collectively chose to crash 7 generations of timelines. And so what has been coming through the transmissions to our pod, and with many of the different groups that I worked with on the planet who were trying to set the financial system up and so on, and I would say, like, look, had we lived out 7 more generations of timelines, we would have played out those scripts. But we made a critical mass decision together, collectively. We chose to end it. So that is where some of the confusion comes through for people in connecting what's going on in their mind and their navigational physical vehicle, because it's got all these storylines programmed into it that it was supposed to live out, like salmon are called back up the same stream that they were born in. So because the mass collective chose to ascend, those timelines, those scripts all got dissolved. And so what comes through a lot of my transmissions, and the golden pod that does a lot with the transmissions, and we do a lot of play together with all of this. They know when the transmissions come through, they are pushing every button and trigger in the field. And so I'll just be sitting there like typing away and pushing everyone's buttons, but there's nothing going on in here. It's literally script coming through from the heavens to help them finish all the roles they would have played out in 7 generations. So it makes no sense to the mind, and people are going like, I don't even get why is she on me about blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I'm just a messenger of the higher self. I'm kind of like the keyboard.
Don't kill the messenger.
Yeah, because these scripts are playing out, but they're accelerated, they're shortcut in a very essential way. So another metaphor that I like to use is it's kind of like the director of the play, or the writer was sitting in the audience, and he was watching the actors play the play out over and over, and he's like, this script I wrote just isn't working. And so he keeps trying to alter it and going on stage and getting the actors to play it out, and he finally just takes the script and goes, just like, forget it. Let's go out for drinks and celebrate.
Just make it up, man.
Yeah, just make it up is where we're at now.
Yeah. How do you feel about March? I've had a very good feeling about March, even through the depth of the solstice. Because from that point on, somebody shot one of those guns in the air, like when they start a race, they're like, boom, and it just went, wow.
That's for sure. Well, what do you think about March? What are you receiving?
I just, sunny skies and, smiles and a lot. Collaboration, I think, is big right now. I think that's a real big deal. I think real is a big thing. I think these last shadows coming up, or if that's what you want to call them, I mean, they're getting louder and louder. So you're seeing a lot of people shift in the moment, which is, I mean, to me, the momentum is, well, look, I wouldn't even have believed, as much as I've experienced, I'd have to say I would have been a little bit skeptical if you would have told me on December 1st what I would have experienced in the amount of time, the short period of time. It's not like a straight line. It's like a spiral. It's going faster than you ever went before when you were a straight line, and it's twirling the whole time. But I got no complaints. I think we're headed for nothing but goodness, greatness.
Yeah, it's called quantum. That is once again related to the 60th gene. It's the transcendence of time and gravity. Those are the final pieces for the consciousness to ascend from two strand. So as the sense of time dissolves, it's called the arc of the infinite, which gives us access to the entire cosmic Akash, the digital library that is within us, or the state of the natural principles of creation are revealed. So as they are revealed, story has no meaning. And that's why we come to a state of awe, a state of silence, a state of stillness, because that's enlightenment and collective enlightenment together. That is what it is. So your sunny sky piece, for me, everything is just a coordinate. My consciousness is not residing in time and has not been for many years now. And so I listen for coordinates and bookmarks. And for certain, I'm hearing the equinox, the spring. And Jose Federico, who's the carrier of the calendar, the sixth sun, the Mayan date keeper, we just communed about an event he's doing in Arizona on the equinox and creating these dream catchers. And what are the dream catchers? They're catching the cymatics that creation is bringing in. And also, Lawrence Wendell posted something today about the day in the Mayan calendar, or the 13-moon calendar. I can't remember which one it is. I'm sure Lawrence could post it here, but the one that starts on February 14th on Valentine's Day extends all the way to the spring equinox. So
which is probably mid-March?
Yeah.
Third week of March?
Usually the 20, I'm pretty sure it's the 21st. And so it's like, I borrow these words from Joe Dispenza, but it's the love affair. Well, he says love affair with the divine, but I'd say the love affair within. That is, it's like as all of this cosmic superabundance starts to rise up in our conscious awareness, it's like people must be noticing right now that they don't, we've been going through these phases, but people must be noticing they don't even want to eat. It doesn't even feel like we have a stomach anymore. It's like as the vaults of heaven and all of the superabundance flows into the body, everything transforms. And so then if you don't need to eat, then you probably don't need a lot of other things you thought you needed. And then that gives us a lot of time to just be inward, and not just inward, but outwardly focused in the way of allowing creation to express through us, creativity, in ways that we may never have done before. And creativity is movement, it's sound, it's vibration, it can be anything, but this is the reconstitution of the immaculate child within us, the purity and the innocence of who we are. And so we may discover there's a lot of childlike nature coming back in us,
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Peter Pan. Yeah, you said something about code, and it reminded me. We were doing a session about 3-4 days ago. I think it was over a couple of days. And so we had our palms together, laying side by side. Morgan started receiving almost like a galactic Morse code in her fingers. And long story short, the explanation was it was being transmitted directly to the nervous system, right? And it was supposedly faster than light language, and it makes sense. And there was a lot of mutual validation going on. So I'm wondering if you're familiar with that, or if you've experienced anything like that. I know the universe reaches or teaches us in all different ways, but it makes sense to me, because that the electrical part of us, the nervous part of us, to me is, if you could pull a spirit out and be physical, that would be it.
That's right. It's a beautiful sharing, and I'm right there with you in that receiving. Think about Reiki. Where does it come from? The hands. When the heart chakra, when the Kundalini, the two serpents within us rise up and unify through the heart, and then it goes up through the throat, activates the amygdala, the Magdalene, the first eye. Once that all occurs and the serotonin starts flowing, then the energy starts to, and one of the things that lights up is our hands when the heart starts to really open, largest electromagnetic field of the body. And so one of the metaphors or examples of nature that I use a lot is, when you go into the jungle in Costa Rica or wherever, and you see all these trails of ants going by, and they're all just doing their little thing, and then there's trails going one way and trails going the other way, and they're so organized. And if you stop and watch, every little ant that passes each other, they do this little stop, and they do this thing with their antennas and keep going. And so in a world of sovereign existence, because that's what this game has been about, not to seek the other outside of the self, but to discover the sovereign in self. That's why we came, was for that unification. And so what we're doing when we're passing that information is exactly the same as the ants. They're giving each other intel from their own unique blueprint, perspective, and perception of creation, and passing it along. So as they do, every little ant is fitting together like a different puzzle piece just through that information. Yeah. And that's what's coming through, which is why this time is about chilling out, being together, and allowing this intel to come through. It's a celebration. Lots of hugs and, kisses, and just like nature, and the feeling of it's cold here in Victoria right now. We don't get temperatures like this usually, and there's snow on the ground, and just like to stand out in it in your bare feet and just go like, just kiss me all over, this temperature, and just like it's this sensual perception time of all of this truly turning on. We really had very little connection to our sensual perception.
Yeah.
When, we were in the lower chakras, we were in survival mode. So it's a whole new discovery of supernatural.
I know. It is. And there's a lot of people putting out a lot of really specific, intricate channeling, downloads, artistic expressions. I'm like, wow. Just like that thing we watched, that transmission that y'all put together at the top of the show. Another part of it is like what's actually happening in the human experience. Like we had this day about 5 or 6 days ago. We didn't know where we were going to go. We got up. We'd already been through different levels, and we just stayed in the flow. And I know that sounds really cliche, but I mean, we're both consciously aware of where we were at, what was going on, and just staying in that space, right? And then in that day, we found a place. 3 aunties step up. There are aunties here in Hawaii, right? And some weren't from here, but it was just the alignment of all these things happening And I was going to ask you, too, in regard to like the teams that we have, the archetypes, the essences, or whatever. Do you see them materializing in our external life? You know, in that gap. You know what I mean? So you're talking about that coming together, like forming these little cells. I don't know. But that part of the magic, the non-scientific part, the part that just does impact the...
Absolutely. That is the dropping of the veils in the revelations is the coming together of all the beloveds, all those who have passed, all of it. It is the reunification of all of these realms of consciousness. And it plays out simultaneously to you and I being in what we feel is our sovereign existence. So what that means is, I like how Shane Shima puts it, and he says, unity, we're playing, or let's say we played, because we'll say it's complete, but that we were playing a 5D chess on a 3D board. And that's what happens when we awaken is we become super attuned to all these levels of self and self-creation, such that we navigate the field in a way that it may have felt like angels at one point, but now we recognize that all ourselves, you know, and then inside of that, because when we come back into that sovereign wholeness, that's when we gain our possibilities to be multidimensional. So you want to go to Pleiades for blue spirulina popcorn with me, then come on, let's do that too, because that's the capacity when the consciousness closes its eyes. Yeah. Guilherme had a great post on his Facebook page, and it's this little, this young girl, and she's just popping up like she's holding this round doorway over her, and she's popped up through this black hole, and she's surrounded by this 50s kind of scene. And I think it said, this is how I look when I pop in from my 5D reality on my 3D dream.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I think I shared that. That was funny as hell.
Yeah. So this is the thing about creation. Like, what are all those scripts that people are seeing? Like I say, those are aeons of storylines and creations in creation. Creation is infinite. And so the potential is also the same. We are infinite potential, infinite possibility. So I call it Flight Lessons 101. We're learning to get back in the center of our mothership to truly begin the fun. Close your eyes and set the coordinates and let the play begin. And it's been going on all of these levels already. And now it's really sinking in. That's why we're feeling so much energy now in the flesh suit, because it's embodying. It's almost like, we're walking along and this whole new layer of creation is coming in around us called the costume with new capacities. It's like it's just the ship is coming on, and now we get to start playing with dials and the buttons and see what we can do together, which is why it's play. Like the masters of the Far East, what did they do? They roamed around playing with their supernatural gifting, and that's where we are. That's the love frequency. It's the pure energy. It's the innocence. It's the playfulness. It's the curiosity. It's the wholeness.
It's pure love.
It's pure love.
Pure love.
Love.
Pure. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's exciting because, I got to believe that, we're in this incarnation, in this representing this species or experiencing this species or being this species, and we're actually bringing that stuff in to a physical matter environment, which to me is colossal. I mean, that's just like, and as fast as people pick things up from each other now, like you're talking about the ants, right? It's contagious. If it's somebody aligning with their heart in any way, being, totally honest about something, bearing their soul, creating a piece of art, an energy, an entity, or whatever, testifying. I mean, it lights people up. That purity lights people up. And we all have that purity. And we can all be that purity just by, in the moment. Like the Christians say, born again. Well, you're born again every day, every moment. That's the great thing about the ascension. Yeah.
Every miracle, we existed in a flashing universe. And, when I had one of my many amazing experiences in my 3D reality, and at the time I was being brain mapped by a scientist named Dr. Fannin, and basically just popped out of all of it and saw the mechanics of creation and started to play with it. And when I was there, I went, I see one of the big parts we're missing down there is we forgot that we could transform our reality instantly, simultaneously. And we got, into that experience of pain, wounding, separation, whatever. But the important piece that I saw was to come back and, quotation marks, tell the people we can change it instantly. And these, of course, are the mechanics of quantum physics, of creation. It's taught by many teachers in different ways. So play with it. If we want to we can play with anything. If, here we said, all right, it's over, the procession of the equinoxes is done. It's the tropics here. We've had this amazing winter in Victoria, and everywhere we go, we just assert that authority upon the field and have that experience, because the experience is experiential from within us, from perception, which is why you see some guys walking out in the middle of, a prairie winter with their shorts on, because they know the quantum keys of creation. They go, it's warm. As far as I'm concerned, it's warm.
And how about these kids, man? I mean, these 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds. They were talking about it on a show yesterday, and this kid was talking to these men about, like, 7 years old, quantum physics, inner work, shadow work, remove the bullshit, and so you can get to the gold. I mean, I don't know how he was putting it, but wow, yeah, that's like, whoa. I mean, if there's a tsunami has been formed, and we are that tsunami, this force, but these kids behind us are like, they're like a gigantic, bigger than the mountains. I mean, a huge wave. So we better hurry.
Well, and they absolutely are. And you know what, Todd, the beautiful thing about it was because when most of us embodied, we were working from the bottom up, and those versions of us were working from the outside in. And so as we have those interactions, whether they're personal or in the field, it's equalizing everything, so we all come in alignment with them together. That's why when parents are bringing in these little babies right now, I go like, look, we're sitting at a table with ascended masters. These aren't really your kids. guarding and changing their diapers, but they're ascended masters. We're all equals at the table. And so not to put those children either on the top of a pedestal or a platform, because we're all equalizing the field.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And
it's just amazing some of the stuff you hear and see.
Truly.
It's just amazing. But, even with, people like you that have been into this for so long. I mean, some of these people coming on the show, it's, 1995, 1996, 1992. I'm like, what? What the hell? So basically they thought they were crazy for a lot longer than we did.
Yes, I know. I look at people like Barbara Marciniak and others, and just really bow, and we're letting go of all of it. And turns out we were just honing in on the source coordinate, like the salmon and the turtles, to go home.
Yeah, it's a jubilee, all right. That's for sure. So when are you guys going to do another collaboration?
Well, that's a great question. Where there's lots of, I think there is so much collaboration for us to do. I was so grateful to Guilherme for doing this, because for so long I've really wanted to collaborate by sharing the light language with music and visuals. And I just learned a long time ago, just let things come to us.
Yeah.
Now, if we're being shown it, then allow it to. On Heiau, on a very special property. And I saw the whole thing, most massive, multi-dimensional, multifaceted thing my consciousness had ever seen. And the guidance said, it's the living library, it's the cosmic Akash. My life's work was to help open the pillars to the cosmic Akash. And that we would start with a website and a social media network, but that's not what it was. That would just form a simple structure to unify a collective consciousness, because what was really occurring through our unification, even like you and I sharing on your shows what you've created, what you, Morgan, have created around the world, all these people who've been creating pods and projects, and it's time to open up, share, open source, all of it, because through that, what you're talking about, collaboration, it actually energizes the particles of the blackness of space, which are surrounding us, which we may still not see with our eyes, where we may still be seeing varying degrees of an old reality or not, depending on our perception. But as we do this collaboration with these entirely new pieces coming through us, it is imprinting the hologram, it is organizing the particles of creation into form, which is why Richard says in the 60th G, in the 60th CD ignites in multiple beings, it will be the end of the world as we know it. The Earthship Merkaba, known as Gaia, will disappear in an instant, and we will step into the new creation. So that's what this phase is really bringing through, all this script, the light language, the trust, the journey, what you and Morgan are doing, just riding the wave of consciousness is coming through. Because what I keep saying in the transmissions is this, it's the time of the Masons is over, of setting a cornerstone, of swinging a hammer and a nail. It's done. It's thought consciousness manifesting our creation like we've always done, but this is a whole new level and experience.
Oh, yeah.
Level's not the word, it's quantum.
Yeah, it is. And it's here. It's here. And, there's a lot of people. I don't think the right phrase is stepping up. I think it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot of people coming out. And that's a softer, way to put it, but that feels right. And that's what I'm seeing. It's as activating as any download I've ever received. To be there present, when somebody's coming out. years and years of doing the work in solitude, and just, you know, that there was a wave, I think, in January of both worthiness, you know, the question of worthiness and self-love and appreciation. And I did about 40, I did one with you, about 40 shows that month, and I was seeing that a lot, you know, I was seeing that a lot. So that's a good thing.
You know,
Somebody,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, just what you said is so beautiful, because that is the birthing stages of wholeness in creation of sovereign is self-love. And that what you're saying about coming out, I feel to share that the most beautiful part for me is witnessing my older parents. You know, my dad's in his mid-80s, and I always said on this journey and this mission, parents are coming with. And even though there was this great divide between the consciousness of me and my parents, and I said, look, you're not going to see a lot of me in the next few years, as I went on my quantum journey around the earth working with grid lines. Every day, every night, I said my prayers, parents coming with. That was one of the biggest pieces for me to that it's all inclusive. And so my 86-year-old dad, or 87, I haven't done the math, is sitting there with an iPad now, and my mother, who has been like so anti-technology, and she's got an iPad. And you know, when I went to Standing Rock, she didn't get it, and what is our daughter doing, walking all over the earth and praying with water and all this stuff. And L1 and Ruthie and I went to visit my parents recently, and my mom pulled an article out about Standing Rock and understanding the conditions that occurred with the original root races on the earth, and some book has been written.
What?
She's like, you got to read this review, and I'm going to get you this book, and I'm reading the article on my iPad right now. It's like,
we're talking World War II here.
Parents are coming with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
People are coming out, and that is the beauty, because there is no one left behind.
Yeah. That's for sure. So what are your plans? Are you going to be going on tour anytime soon with Guillermo?
Well, if we are, we're going to be bringing you with us.
He told me last year that he was going to come to the States. They were doing some type of or attempting to do some type of initiative where they were going to go from place to place. Expanding light language, I think, was part of it. Yeah, I see things like that coming together. No doubt at all.
Well, you know, I feel pretty tuned in with Jose's event in Arizona. I don't have specific details here. In March, Jose and I have been carrying a very, obviously, Pleiadian piece for Jose. And, you know, we've deeply recognized each other parts. So that really stood out for me. Pureenergy.love at the Lucidity Festival is in April. I think it's April 7th to the 11th. I'm not very good at looking at dates sometimes. I really feel, Todd, that I could see you and Morgan being there with the Pureenergy.love crew. And, you know, that might begin the phases of movement. For me, within my own consciousness, after traveling in linear time for 8 years on the grids, going nonstop with a backpack and walking the grids, I have been very still in the grids of Albion in Victoria, British Columbia, and working with the cymatics of the earth here. And what keeps coming through me is I'm not getting in a car or a plane to go anywhere. Like, let's just do this thing together. Let's open up the gates, because I want to hang with all my with all of our star family on the planet and do
all of our homies, man.
Yeah, our homies, and
you gotta hang with the homies.
And let's do it multidimensional, you know, like that. So that's really my focus.
Yeah. Is that the one that Suzanne Ross is doing? Is it Beyond the Matrix?
Is that the Jose one in March, or Lucidity? Are you asking about?
No, I'm talking about the one Jose's in March is in Arizona.
You know what? I would have to take a look. Do you want me to look right now?
That's okay. I mean, we can still put it out there. We got time. I know there's one in Sedona. That one's in Sedona. There's another one in Tucson. I'm not quite sure what that one is. A friend of ours is going to do I think, kind of DJ artistic thing. I'm not really sure. Um, she's coming from England, but yeah, I think I've felt the Southwest. I've felt that for quite a while. I don't know. When it'll happen, but I do feel like there's going to be a lot of moving around for everybody. We'll be like the whirling dervishes. We'll just have the food and the music and the art and the clothes, whatever,
That
and just go.
for sure. The whole crew that created Lucidity, we and many others all over the planet, that collective movement, the moving festival, the moving circus, whatever we want to call it. It really is the celebration on the earth, and it just might not look the way that our mind expects it. Meaning,
Yeah,
the Stargate
and
portals open up. It's
and it's going to happen the natural way. And we're not to be in the way anymore. Just get out of the way, right?
Just get out of the way. Exactly.
Yeah.
Where did Jose
What?
put this? Do you want me to try and pull
What?
it up?
His name sounds familiar too.
He's the carrier of the calendar of the sixth sun.
Is he in Sedona? Federico.
Well, he moves around a lot.
Somebody gave me his name.
Yeah. Oh, I gave you his name when way back when we were doing when we were doing the July 13th.
Yeah. We should get you and him on and have a three-way conversation.
Let's do
That'd be a good show.
that. My brother of
Yeah, let's
peace,
do
love,
it.
and unity.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I'd like to get him and Shakara Tosh. She's real tight with Chief Golden Eagle.
Yeah.
I think I think having a moderator and then two people who have a lot of aligning energy, aligning relationship. That's a good format.
Totally.
So
And-
talk to Jose.
Okay.
Talk to mi amigo.
I will talk
mi
to
amigo.
Chief Golden Light Eagle, also a dear friend, and another person that comes.
Oh, really?
Is Mazatson, who is the carrier of the Aztec calendar, who is also.
Uh-oh. Signal's out. Can you hear me? Well, no, it's out. Well, here she comes. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't know if I've been having problems all day. I started having a few minutes ago. Oh, they said we can hear. Okay, so yeah, let's talk to some people. Let's collaborate. That's what it's all about. Y'all did it today. That's what excites me. That's why I love doing what I do, because it's just like every day. You only plan like 2-3 days ahead if you do that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just let's do it. This is where the power is. This is how we spread this incredible, contagious soul, energy.
Love.
That's right. Straight up love. That is the order of the day. Well, you take care. Make sure don't go outside in your bare feet. Is it snowing over there?
There's just a little bit of snow. I found Jose's. Do you want me to just tell you where this is?
Yeah.
Okay, he says, Uni Grace, hyped to see you at the Infinity Dreamcatcher in Mesa, Arizona this equinox. Is that the one you're talking about? The Soul Center.
That's one of them I've seen. Somebody gave me a flyer or something like that. I was in Sedona, but yeah, I recognize that. You were cutting out a little bit, but I heard part of the name was in Infinity. What was it?
Oh, Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, but the name.
Yeah, sorry. Infinity Dreamcatcher in Mesa, Arizona, at the Soul Center.
Yeah. I know who gave it to me too. Dreamcatcher. Okay.
Todd, I love you so much. To all of the cast and crew that's tuning in with us, and to you and Morgan, our deepest gratitude on behalf of humanity for everything that you have done together in your divine partnership, and just such an honor and deep reverence for you as a brother, a star being, a human being on the earth together, and cosmic journeyer. I'm so deeply grateful. I know I speak this for all of us, and would be really fun to drop in with you and Morgan on a phone call, the three of us, and do an interstellar catch up.
That sounds good. That was a beautiful thing that you said. I'm very grateful for that. And thank you. Big ditto. Big ass love, ditto. And hugs. Yeah, we can do that. Definitely. You take care. Thank you very much.
Love you.
For coming in. Love you too. Thank you everybody for coming in. See you tomorrow with 3 or 4 shows. I don't know what they are. Never know what they are. All right, you take care.